Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad House of Dalmar, together with my co-host Mark Bronich of Statewide News Service, jbiztechvalley.com, and as you can see here, columnist for the Jewish Press.
And I'm having a lot of fun doing all of those things, and someone else who's having a lot of fun is our guest today. His name is Matt Greenblatt, and he's the co-president. I don't want to slight your wife, who's the other half of the co-presidency.
Just
Precisely.
the better half.
The Ne'imah Jewish Community Chorus. So welcome to the Jewish View.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Rabbi. Thanks for sharing your air. Appreciate it.
And you don't sing, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You do sing.
Oh, both my wife and I have been members of the chorus since the chorus started in 1992.
You're on. Give us a sample.
I don't. That's why I'm in a chorus, Mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't do solos.
Oh, okay.
My wife's the first alto, and I'm a baritone pretending to be a bass.
Oh, okay. I hear you. And how many people are in Ne'imah?
Well, we range around 30, and it's a 4-part mixed chorus.
These are amateurs and non-paid? I mean,
Yes,
you're
the
picking
chorus
on-
members, that's correct, Rabbi. The chorus members are not paid. In fact, they pay dues to be in the chorus because we need to support the chorus.
$200, right?
No,
What is it?
it's $50
Oh, it's
a semester.
Okay. I had this somewhere. Okay.
It's $50 a
I
semester.
knew. Okay.
That's
Yes.
for performance fees.
Listen, that would be your fee, Mark, if
Yeah.
you want to join over.
Because we're an independent not-for-profit. We're not affiliated with any other
What is
organization.
expected from the singers? And it says to pay $100 dues per singing season.
Right, $50 a semester.
Oh, a semester.
Two
there's
semesters.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, sort of the fall and the spring. We start rehearsals usually in September, depending on where the holidays fall, and then we end in usually late May, early June when we do our annual concert. And we have, as I say, it was a 4-part mixed chorus. And
So from the
No, I
beginning,
think
how did you think of this idea and innovate,
Well,
of
this
course?
is Rosemary Lynn's.
yes, I was going to say, I cannot take credit for this. This is Rosemary's invention.
Very good. Well, we should mention her. then.
Yes,
This was
well,
a big
she's
part of the
she's
Jewish
our
community.
founder, you know, she's on our letterhead. I mean, we still keep in touch with her, of course.
She's in Israel now.
She's in Israel now, yes. And in 91, 92, she really wanted to form a Jewish chorus, a Zamir kind of chorus, if you're familiar with Zamir of Boston, Zamir Chorale of Boston. They're sort of one of the preeminent Jewish choruses in the country, if not in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to form that kind of choral group that would sing Jewish music, but design it for anybody in the general public who wants to sing Jewish music. Most of our members are Jewish, but not all. And she came up with this idea and started talking around. One day she said to me at shul, she was thinking about it, and I said, you form it, I'll be there.
Now you're with Ohav Shalom?
Yeah, we're Ohav Shalom at that time.
And she was with Beth Abraham Jacob?
Actually, at the time, I think she belonged to Ohav.
Oh, I see.
And she, so then this was the big moment. I think it was 92. This is really Anna's story. Anna Dobrova is our conductor and music director. She is a paid contract employee. And we have an accompanist, a pianist, Rebecca Benjamin, who is also a paid contract person. And in order to form this chorus, you really need a director. You need someone to lead it.
Right.
And that's what she was looking for. And then Anna appeared. Anna and her husband immigrated from the Soviet Union in, I think it was 92, but it might have been 91, somewhere around in there. And Anna, in the Soviet Union, had been a choral director and quite highly professional. She was trained in the Soviet system. She's just a wonderful musician.
It just seems like I know many Russian Jews, just people interrupt you for a second, but it seems like they're more musical minded in a certain sense than the American Jews. There's just so many professional musicians, and you don't find that so much. I mean, every kid plays a little guitar and a little piano, but just to be so professional, these Russian Jews come out of Russia. Unfortunately, they can't get that many jobs, I know, because they're always asking me, but they do come out with such professional
You hit on
musicians.
exactly one of the many issues, one of the most important issues that was confronting Anna, because I think the Soviet society, the Soviets really supported music and musicians, but not Jewish musicians.
Really,
Not musicians who would do Jewish music.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so she had no opportunity to explore this whole world of Jewish music, and she's Jewish, and she always wanted to, but she couldn't do it in the Soviet Union. But she did have a chorus. She had a chorus in Leningrad. She took it to an international competition at one point and won a prize. I mean, she's really a fine musician. Once Rosemary became aware of Anna, that's when things really happened.
Great.
Because that was the connection. And Anna figured when she came to the United States, she'd never have a chorus again. She'd really never be able to explore Jewish music the way she wanted to.
So she fell into where the need was, and
Yes.
Rosemary provided the need for her. And
Yep.
it was a marriage that was really great.
It's just a great story.
Yeah.
It's just a great story.
And Ne'ima
Means pleasant or melody or pleasant melody,
right, pleasant melody.
depending on how you translate it, I guess.
Right. So that's appropriate, because that's all you do, of pleasant melodies.
Seems good to me.
Where do you play mainly? I mean, where do you perform?
Well, we do anywhere
This is-
from...
This is the plug for your concert.
Yeah, no, I know.
Hint.
We do anywhere from 2 to 4 smaller performances in the course of the year, and we'll appear at like the Masry or Daughters of Sarah, various community events, interfaith events. We can get into some more detail about where places we've been in, over the years. And then we do one annual concert every year. And most recently we've been doing at the Lyndon Norris Auditorium, which is WMC's Performing Arts Studio.
On Central and Quail.
On Central and Quail, exactly. And this year we're doing...
They have a big theater there? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they hold about 200, 220 people.
Really? I didn't even know
Yep.
that.
Yeah, that's where Preet Bharara, when he came here, he spoke and, filled it up. And there's other events they have there, and the place fills up very easily.
Yeah, well, we've been told by the management that we come closest to filling it up more than any other group
Really?
that
Yeah.
shows up. Yeah, we fill it up pretty nicely.
Yes, you do. No, I was at your
Yeah.
concert last year.
Right. So on May 22nd, if
Okay.
plug time, I guess.
Yes.
On May 22nd at 7:30, we'll be performing at the Linda.
And that's what day of the week?
That is a Sunday,
Sunday.
and the doors open at 6:30. Yeah, we never perform on Shabbat. We don't perform, we don't rehearse on Shabbat.
Excellent.
Right, but you don't, but the concert could be after Shabbat. I mean,
Even
it's too
even
late
in the
in May.
winter, it's just
not,
not very practical.
right, okay.
It's just not very practical. We always bring in an out-of-town artist of some repute, and this year we have cantor Elias Rosenberg, who's cantor at Emmanuel in Newton, and he's originally from Argentina.
Newton, Mass?
Newton, Massachusetts, right. And he's originally from Argentina and performs with the Boston Opera and Concert Ensemble and with Zamir Chorale. And the theme of the concert is Jewish musical gems, old, new, and different.
Mhm.
So he kind of personifies our theme because he does all kinds of music. And he's going to give us selections from his repertoire, which include cantorial, Israeli, Yiddish, Ladino, opera, and Broadway.
But in your choir is in background? I mean, how do you work with your choral group?
Okay, the first part of the program will be just the chorus. And then I think we set it up this year, and then at the end of that program, he will come on and sing with us. He'll do solos. We have pieces that, we have a very famous arrangement of Azia Shir Moshe, where you need a really good tenor soloist, and he provides that. So it's by way of example.
Have
So
you met him already?
I've not met him, but the person on our chorus who's sort of in charge of finding people for us to consider. She heard him, and of course I've heard him online, and he's got a great voice.
You know, I was going to ask you, with the music, I mean, I'm familiar with some Jewish music, but I guess you're more expert than I am, I'm sure. But is there any new compositions, or these are, where are you getting the compositions from, I guess, from digging up old scores, or
The
people are writing anything?
The answer, Rabbi, is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We have modern stuff. Last year we had a guy named Noah Aronson, who's a composer of modern Jewish choral music. Great stuff. And we do a lot of liturgy set to music, using sometimes new tunes, sometimes new arrangements, sometimes new influences. Noah tends to bring in sort of very jazzy or very upbeat kind of stuff. Now, Cantor Rosenberg, he's Sephardic, I mean, he's a Sephard originally, but he's been in the United States many years, a number of years, so he does all kinds of different music, but he's going to do a Yiddish tango.
Even though he's Sephardic, just for our listeners, our viewers here, that Sephardic is more your Spanish, Moroccan, Syrian, and Yiddish is a derivative of German, so it's more your European, so that's why it's a little bit
Eastern
funny,
European,
yeah.
right. And they have very different, sometimes very different traditions in terms of how the music they use for their services.
Is he coming for Shabbat and then staying for Sunday? Or?
Actually, no, he's going to come in Sunday morning, because Boston's only 3 hours away.
Yeah, I know, but I thought maybe he would spend some time at Ohav and maybe, do his chazaning. And I wasn't sure.
Well,
I just thought I'd ask.
We're not affiliated with
I
Ohav
know.
or any particular.
I know.
He
He
didn't-
didn't practice Shalom, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure, and I just thought I'd just throw it out there.
Well, it's not an unreasonable proposition. Last year, in fact, that's what Noah did.
Yeah. Oh,
He
okay.
showed up at Gates of Heaven.
Oh,
And
in Schenectady.
in Schenectady, right. I think it was the rabbi's 25th anniversary
Yeah.
that last year.
Okay.
So he helped them with that celebration, and then and then on
Okay.
Sunday he came over and performed with us.
Well, I got to tell you, it's absolutely riveting when you can hear all of this and how well orchestrated this chorus is.
Thank you.
Really, I mean, I even sat in on one of your rehearsals, and it was just absolutely phenomenal how everyone in the chorus seems to enjoy being there, and they seem to be friends and supportive of each other, and you don't get, and I can understand why they want to get out of their comfort zone to be with this very upbeat and joyful group of people who get together to do this chorus. It's just amazing.
These
Yep.
people are already trained, or I mean, maybe they have some voice, I'm sure, but do you do a little training on the side, or they're coming in as, hey, you have a good voice, you know how to sing, you took singing lessons?
Most people just can carry a tune and have enough of an ear so that they can pick up the music. Not everybody reads music. Most people, a lot of people follow music instead of read it. I can't read music, but I can certainly follow it pretty well. And you do it with the chorus enough, and you can follow it. Any of the languages other than English, because we sing in Hebrew, we sing in Yiddish, we sing in Ladino, we've even done some Russian, and occasionally some English. But any all the
But you
Hebrew.
have to pick that up over here if they didn't
It's
really learn.
no, it's transliterated.
Yeah.
It's all transliterated, so you don't have to have any particular language skill. You just got to be able to carry a tune. You got to be able to listen and pick up the notes, and love to sing Jewish music in your
and
business.
you have the books in front of you with
Yep.
the words. You
Yep.
hold them sort of like this, and then you have
Right.
You audition, I mean, a few people must drop out after a year or whatever, a few years, and then other people, or...
People come and go. There's not really any formal audition. You just walk in on usually the first day of the semester, and Anna says, takes you to the piano and has you sing a few notes, and she assigns you to your group. I mean, she's that good. I mean, she just...
And you know what? I came in on the first day, and they wanted me to go up there and sing.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm just sitting here and watching. Oh, come on, don't be so shy. And I said, you really don't want me to sing. You keep the group intact. It's like, no. I knew my place. I knew when to say no.
We like to be welcoming.
You are, and you are, and I really, and I see I saw the first day, I saw the final product at the concert. I mean, it just really was this very positive spirit, and you bring and you attract people who also have this very positive and supportive spirit to fill up that place in the Linda Auditorium. So I'm just such a fan. And
Great.
that's really why I wanted to have you, come on the show. Tell me about Rebecca Benjamin, who's the accompanist, piano accompanist.
Rebecca's a young lady who's a very fine pianist, musician. She graduated college from Crane grad. She's a Crane grad. That's correct, my hometown.
Oh.
And she and they really have a very fine choral program. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was in high school, I benefited from that kind of
Crane School of
milieu.
Music is tops.
It is very good.
In the world, yeah.
What's your actual background in music? You went to the Crane School?
No.
or-
You
No,
grew up in Potsdam.
I just came
When
from
you grow up in
Potsdam.
Potsdam, you go to the Crane School of Music because there's very little
Well-
else to do in Potsdam. You sort of get attracted.
Right.
The closest synagogue, I don't think there was a synagogue in Potsdam. I think.
There's been since 1956. My parents were amongst the founders of it.
Oh, which is it?
Bethel, it's called.
Conservative?
By necessity, whatever you want it to be, on whatever day you need it to be, whatever.
Oh, okay.
In a small town synagogue, and
Well,
never
no,
had a
because
rabbi.
Then it was Potsdam. Okay.
Yes.
Not Messina. I thought maybe Messina had.
Messina's closed. Messina's much older. Augsburg used to have one that's closed.
Right.
But
Well, Potsdam and Saranac Lake, I think, are the only two.
Lake Placid,
Lake Placid.
right.
Yeah, so, because I had to say Kaddish, and I was running around the Adirondacks, and I almost went into the Potsdam synagogue.
Yeah, no,
but
it's actually gotten to be a vibrant little congregation.
it's in St. Lawrence County,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's, also right near Potsdam is Canton,
That's right.
and that's St. Lawrence
He's hard
University.
geography, New York State over here.
There's 4 colleges, it's 2 in each town.
Right, and there's the Paul
SUNY.
Smith's is nearby, or no?
Paul Smith is quite a
Okay, so
quite a
it's
ways away.
Canton,
There's St. Lawrence University in Canton,
right.
Canton Agriculture and Technical, whatever they call it these days. It's a
Right.
state school. SUNY Potsdam, which includes Crane and Clarkson University.
And Clarkson is the
Yeah.
big one. And Clarkson now has a campus in Schenectady, right on Knott Street.
Right.
Yeah, they just moved a campus.
And I think the president of St. Lawrence is Jewish and helps them with services, and there's a 4-college Hillel. It's,
There's Dr. Avi Sezhin, I forgot his name, but.
don't remember his
I
name,
think-
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
He comes up here once or twice a year. I'm trying to get him
Yeah.
to be on the show.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Good luck.
All right, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
So, you have something that's really interesting, and that's the Shop Ne'imah, Shop Ne'imah, where you have a sort of a website set up that you benefit from or something, or a connection.
Yeah,
So-
if you go on our website and you click through it into Amazon
Yeah,
and buy something, then we get
percentage.
a percentage. And
But it's just not Amazon, it's like Google and eBay. And
Yeah,
It's just like,
right.
there are 3 tabs on top when you click.
yeah,
on
I'm not
that.
sure the mechanics of it. I know that's basically how it
But
works.
that's
yeah.
innovative. I haven't seen anyone else
I
here.
think our former president set that up. Yeah, that was Alma Birnbaum.
I hadn't seen anyone else do that in this area. Of
Yeah.
any of the not-for-profit, so that's why I wanted to bring it up, because have you shopped on,
Yeah, sure. I
on
mean,
that? Have you?
not recently, but we have in the past.
have, yeah.
A lot of the websites have these kinds of programs and they call them associates, where the people have product to offer, or have charities, charitable organizations, and we're not for profit. So it's a common thing in that world.
What's your budget?
Our annual budget's around 12 to 15,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. And then that also has to cover the cost for Rebecca and for
Anna
and Anna.
and the venues, and we have to pay rent to you know, a little modest rent for at B'nai Shalom where we rehearse,
Yeah.
and they've been very good to us.
Yeah.
People at B'nai Shalom.
So do you do other, I mean, I would think you'd need more than that to do all the things that you're doing. I mean,
It's all, you
It's
know,
just amazing.
volunteer. It's all
amazing
volunteer.
that you could do so much for just 15,000 a year.
Yeah, well, all the work is done on a volunteer basis by the
Yeah.
members or people they know.
Do you get corporate sponsorships in
We get some grants.
Yeah, I
Yep,
see that.
we get some
Yeah.
grants,
Yeah,
and we
use
get
that.
businesses that put ads in our program book,
Mhm.
and also people that donate, support, you know, as supporters, are listed in the
But
program
that's
book.
included in the 15,000.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, you know, so you get grants from the Sidney and Beatrice Albert Foundation.
Yes, they've
Jewish
been.
Federation,
Mhm.
Price Choppers Golub Corporation,
Mhm.
and Community Arts Grant, a program funded by the Arts Center of the Capital Region
Correct.
through the New York State Council of the
Right.
Arts.
It's administered, I think, by the Arts Center,
Right.
and funded through the New York State Council on the Arts, yes.
So you're giving everyone credit in
Oh,
that paragraph,
well,
but I'm just saying that, you know, I mean, these grants must be like $500 a piece, it looks like. It
Some are
doesn't-
more,
It
yeah.
doesn't look like this, you know, it seems like you can get a little bit more out of some of these people.
Well, as you know, grant money is a precious commodity out there in the world, especially for the arts. So
No,
we'll-
it is.
So we do what we can, and, you know,
Just filling out the forms is sometimes a major undertaking.
tell me about it.
But that's what I was saying, you know, like that, you know, compare America to Russia, you know, the American culture, United States, they just don't give too much credence to the arts as much as, you know, we had people, Mark and I have so many people on the Jewish View here and people from all the different venues. And it's just really, people don't appreciate, I think. I mean, I always feel that way because I like music and I like arts, but they don't appreciate the fine arts, if you want to say that, compared to other countries. Like there's no money for it, people don't come to the concerts as much. You know, other places in Europe, you know, like in Russia, they appreciate music. Here it's a rock and roll band, some guy with his guitar screaming his head off, you can't understand what they're talking about. You know, and they'll fill up an auditorium and
You know,
real
who
music.
You should reach out to, for this concert, is the rabbi for Beth Israel in Schenectady, because he comes from the Newton area, and he had a synagogue there that closed up.
Ah,
And he comes from the Newton area, and he also is, his wife's Italian. And she does a lot, so maybe, you know,
Well-
this might be on different, various levels,
Yeah.
a very interesting concert for them. And they
We-
may not know about it until you.
well, we send a notice to all the synagogues and ask them to publicize it, but yeah.
It's a matter of.
Yeah, no,
focus.
I hear what you're saying, but we do try to contact all the Jewish organizations, as well as, you know.
So I'm just saying that that's something you might want to consider, because it's really an incredible connection, and you don't know where that'll lead.
Right, right.
The La Rabbanessa there is just very
Yeah.
gregarious, or what would you say? She's outgoing, and she's, you know, incredible, so.
I should also say, we get a grant from the Times-Union by way of a free ad.
Oh,
So
okay.
we get advertisement in the
Full
TV.
page.
Not exactly, but, you know, it's appreciated. I mean, they've been very kind to us over the years.
Yeah, you
So.
see, I come from family, when I got a 98 on a test, my father said,
Why not 100? Yeah.
Where'd the other 2 points go?
Yeah, we know that.
Or if he knew there was an extra credit question, and then you had 125, he'd say, well, how come you didn't, you know,
Right.
get that? So I always look at, you know, I come from that mindset, so.
Yeah, know about that.
So tell me about your upbringing in Potsdam. What was that like to be a Jew in Potsdam, in St. Lawrence County, in the middle of farmland, farm country? Did you have a farm?
No, my father was a retailer, of course.
Okay.
But a lot of the Jewish kids in the town were sons and daughters of professors at the various colleges. There were other sons and daughters of retailers as well. I mean, you know, in my day there were about 25 families, and that was it. But they formed the congregation, and you know, the families that kept kosher, well, you know, you'd have to
Go to Montreal?
either go to Montreal or Syracuse, right?
Right.
Actually, Montreal's a little closer, but you got the border to deal with. And in those days, it wasn't as difficult as it is
Right.
now. But I remember going to Montreal, and when one family, of the 6 or 7 that kept kosher went, they bought for everybody. They got orders from everybody. You come back with a trunk full of meat and bread. And so if you wanted to do anything, you had to do it yourself. So in that sense, it was very, very intimate. And
You say it's growing now, the Potsdam community?
They have something like 40, 50 families
Really?
now.
That's interesting.
And they have some couple people that really got very active, and they do a lot. Sharon Williams is one of them. And coincidentally, she lives in the house I grew up in.
Really?
It's just, it's kind
What's
of
her
weird.
name?
I believe her name is Sharon Williams.
Sharon Williams.
Yeah, and she's her husband's a physician in town, and there's one other woman whose name escapes me, and I apologize to her. And the two of them have been very active in keeping the synagogue active. They're bringing in a music act of their own, I understand. So they're doing a lot.
Must be, because I know one Jewish student here is going to SUNY Potsdam, so there must be some number of Jewish kids that are.
Like you
Going
said, there's
to-
a Hillel.
For
Yeah.
College Hillel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to work with WSLU, which is a public radio station out of St. Lawrence University, for the North Country Public Radio, they call it.
Right.
And so I had to cover news for St. Lawrence County, Hamilton counties.
Where are you from originally?
Brooklyn. So
There you go.
So the news director of WSLU, Pat McCown, she called me up one day and she says, and she lived in something center, Brazier Center. You know Brazier? Did you ever hear? Okay.
Brazier Falls.
Yeah, Brazier Falls. Well, this is Brazier Center. I guess they had a
Smaller
center.
yet.
Yeah. And she says to me, one of your people moved next door to me. And I said, what do you mean one of your people? And she says, well, with the hat and the curls and the beard and the black coats and all that. I said, hey, no, they're not Amish. And she says, no. I went to their house. They didn't let me. I wanted to give them a cup of coffee, and they wouldn't take even a cup of coffee. And, I went to their house. They told me not to touch anything. And all these rules and stuff. I said, all right. So what do you need? So she goes, well, I want to give them a housewarming gift, and I don't know what to give them. So can you bring, I was going up there anyway.
Yeah.
She says, can you bring something? So I said, sure, I'll take care of it. So I got a challah cover, and I had it double wrapped.
What were they doing up there?
And I gave, I'll tell you in a second.
All right,
So
stay tuned.
and I gave it to her, and I said, now you go, don't put it down. You go over there right now and give it to them. So she did, and they were just like floored that she didn't know what a challah cover was, But what they were doing up there is that they had a farm that they bought for wayward kids who didn't get along in the Chabad community.
Really? How long is this? How far?
Late 80s.
Really?
90s, early 90s. So, and they would, be this post, you might say, where the kids who misbehaved in Crown Heights would be sent up to the hinterlands of the Adirondacks, and they'd do farming, and they would get disciplined, and they would get back on track, and they would learn, and that's where they would have their, so that's what they had there, and they also had a large family. So they would go to Montreal to go shopping, and then they also had in Watertown, there was a Jewish community center. There was a rabbi who started a Chabad up there in Watertown, and he always told me, I met him a couple of times, he told me he would have to go to Montreal for kosher food.
Sure.
And I guess now you order online, they deliver it.
Yeah.
That's how you don't have to deal with the border.
Yeah,
But,
I guess so.
There's a lot of ordering online that they pack it, they have certain ways of packing perishables, and
Sure.
They mail it to you.
That would have been handy.
That would have been handy. Well, there you go.
On the other hand, it was fun trips to Montreal.
Well, what didn't we ask you about Ne'imah that you might want to bring up? And
I want to get back to something you said earlier.
Sure.
Well, you talked about how the chorus was, this nice group and friendly, and I think that's one thing we're going to talk about in our co-president's message in the program book is about how it's a community. And how the chorus is a community. It's a very unique Jewish community because we have people from modern Orthodox all the way to unaffiliated, as well as some non-Jews who are just interested in Jewish music because it comes from all over the world.
Right.
I mean, Rabbi was talking about the Sephardic who are North African or Middle Eastern. You know, we've done music from Morocco, we've done music from Yemen and Italy, and then of course traditional Eastern European music, klezmer music, a lot of Yiddish music, and modern Israeli, traditional folk, very classical choral format. Lewandowski, who was part of the Reform movement in Germany in the 1850s, composed these pieces that are really very classical, like Mozart or Beethoven kind of classical choral music. Bach, actually, classical choral music, but Jewish music, Jewish liturgy. And so there's a whole variety of Jewish music, and people are interested in that.
Wow, that's great.
And then there's and Anna's just great with the chorus. I mean, just some choral directors, maybe choral directors generically have a reputation for being a little difficult or harsh, or, you sang a wrong note, you're out kind of thing. That's not Anna at all. She's very nice. She works very hard to bring everybody together. She's dealing with amateurs. And she really, I told her she makes, a silk purse out of a sow's ear, which I had to translate for her. It's an American idiom, that I had to translate for her.
This is a good way to leave it.
Yeah.
Because we're running out of time.
Okay.
So in any case, Matt, thank you for sharing to our viewers something a very beautiful diamond in the area. People just don't know that much about it, and this way you're calling their attention to attend to these different NEMA choral choirs that you have, and continue with your good work and with good
Continued
success.
Yes.
Thank you
Absolutely.
both, and I hope to see a lot of people at May 22nd, 7:30 at the Linda.
Okay, you got it.